All right, all praise to the Most High. I'm Captain Yediah with Israel United in Christ. To my left, I got
Officer Azrael.
to my right.
Officer Dothan.
Officer Jalil.
All praise to the Most High. We on KAZ Radio. All praise to the Lord. I'm glad to be here. And this week we got a special event coming up, the Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar, Sunday at 11 a.m. at the Zelma George Rec Center. So with that being said, people might wonder, why do we need a youth violence conflict resolution? Let's go into the Bible, because we are a Bible-based organization at Israel United in Christ. And we're going to go into the Bible. Let's get Hosea chapter 4. We're going to go into the Bible, and we're going to get a glimpse of what's going on in our communities and why a youth violence conflict resolution seminar is well needed, all right? So let's get Hosea 4. Let's start at verse 1.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
So a controversy is a huge problem. God says he has a huge problem with our people. He has a huge problem with our communities. Go ahead.
Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
So the first thing he said is because there is no truth. So, for example, with the youth violence seminars that we're conducting all over the U.S. and even across the seas, one thing we're trying to do is provide truth to our people, because we understand that violence is not something that just happens out of nowhere. Violence is not spontaneous. Violence is something that's branching off from root causes like self-hatred, confusion, lack of identity. Self-hatred, that's where the violence is coming from. All right. So when our people receive the truth, that's when they can start to mend those spiritual traumas, those mental traumas, and get healed. And then that will have a direct effect on decreasing the violence in our communities and equipping them to be able to de-escalate situations and resolve their problems without resorting to bloodshed. So go ahead and read that again.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 1. Hear the words of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
Come on.
Because there is no truth.
Because there is no truth. Go ahead.
Nor mercy.
Nor mercy for one another. We don't have mercy. That's why you can see somebody empty a whole clip in somebody, reload it, and then shoot some more. That's why you're going to have 15 brothers jump on one brother because they got a small problem, a small disagreement, and you got 15 brothers trying to stump somebody's ears together. Because there is no mercy. Go ahead.
Nor knowledge of God in the land.
Nor knowledge of God in the land. Because we have not been taught the God of the Bible. We've been taught a feel-good God, a feel-good Jesus, feel-good angels, feel-good prophecy. We've been given a commercialized walk with God. That's what we've been given. A universal walk with God, a user-friendly walk with God. When this Bible is about a God who's a man of war, who's for his people and is going to redeem his people and has laws for his people. Right. But we have not been given that truth or knowledge of God. So now let's read on. Let's see what's going on in our communities. Go ahead.
Verse 2. By swearing.
By swearing, you know a Negro love to swear. On my mama, on my kids, on my unborn kids. Y'all ever heard that one?
Yes.
On my unborn kids. I'm like, damn, let them live. Right. Let them come into the world first before you start lying on them. Because we know you lying anyway, Tyrone.
Right.
You know Tyrone lying. When he start balling his fists up, his fist be next to his ears. On my kids. You know he lying.
Now they be like, on God.
Oh,
They took it there. Now it's on God.
On God.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, the nerves.
Yeah.
The spinal cord.
With the clap, and they my own God.
On God. Lord have mercy.
Went from your unborn kids to on God.
Sheesh. On God's head. All right, read that. Read that. By what?
By swearing and lying.
And lying. Go ahead.
And killing.
Lying and killing. And those two things went side by side. You see that, right? Yes. Because many people lie in the grave today because somebody lied on them.
Right.
A woman was messing around with a man. Oh, I won't mess with him. He touched me. He said this to me. He called me out my name. I wasn't messing with him. Many brothers is in jail and dead over a woman, over a lie, over a slander, over a Facebook post, a Twitter post, an Instagram post. People are 6 feet pushing up daisies by swearing, by lying and killing. Go ahead.
And stealing.
And stealing. That's strong arm robbery, armed robbery. And sometimes after the robbery, you get killed.
Right.
Whether you resist or whether you comply, they still putting our brothers to death. We doing this stuff to each other. This is why God says he has a huge problem with our people. Read on.
And committing adultery.
And then it'd be violence behind that. Go ahead.
They break out.
They break out, meaning what? It's rampant. It is an epidemic of violence in Black and Hispanic and Native American communities. Go ahead.
And blood toucheth blood.
And we are the main causes of our own death in our communities. We can blame the white man for the police killings. We can blame the crazy introverted kid for shooting up schools, but the main death, the main murders that take place, is us doing it to ourselves.
That's right.
And this is why it's important for us to come in as leaders in our communities, not waiting for somebody to come in and police our communities, not waiting for a murder to take place for us to call in Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton to sing the same old song.
Right.
No, the solution is in the Bible. That makes sense, brother? What y'all think?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Makes perfect sense.
Could I get something on that, Cap?
Yeah, what you got?
Let me get Isaiah 59:7. Because you got a good point. These youth, they have the upbringing been wrong. Now they diluted with video games, murder music, you name it.
Murder music,
it's
goddamn.
defiled. So the minds of our people are not right. Got that off?
Isaiah chapter 59, verse 7. Their feet run to evil.
World Star, they feet run to evil. Every time it's a commotion, they see violence, whether it's in school, on the streets, at the court, our people run to that thing with their phones out. Their feet run to evil. Read.
And they make haste to shed innocent blood.
Somebody step on your J's, you might kill them. You get in situations like Cap brought out earlier. It could be a straight slander, a lie against you, and next thing you know, before you can even explain yourself, you're already shot. You're getting jumped by 20, 18-year-olds nowadays. You're not safe in the street. Our people, they run to violence and shed innocent blood. You can't go to an ATM in your own neighborhood without feeling paranoid, thinking somebody's going to rob you and kill you. Right?
Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting, and destruction are in their paths.
All their thoughts is just evil. All sin, all manners of evil. Like this, when you bred up with playing Grand Theft Auto for the past 18 to 20 years, you listen to murder music. What's that trap music? The new music they call now?
Drill
music, kill music. You got that seared into your mind. The only thing on your mind is wasting and destruction in their paths. That's all that they think about is killing. You don't have the process to think things out anymore. You don't got process to talk amongst your brothers and sisters to settle an odd now.
Right.
Now everybody's the ops. Next verse.
Next verse. The way of peace they know not.
And this is what we here for. This is why, like as Cap said, the Bible is the solution. Our people don't know this Bible. They never got taught it by their pastors. They never got taught it by their parents. Our elders failed us. So guess what? The Most High is bringing His word back on the earth to get their minds reestablished back to this Bible. Read.
And there is no judgment in their goings.
Because they don't think about the consequences after their actions. A lot of things they do is spontaneous. People live in YOLO. They live in for the moment. You get somebody out, they get in an argument in a party, next thing you know, they got murder on their hands. And most of the time they hire drunk and they don't remember what happened the next day. Mm-hmm. They wake up and behind bars because their minds never got to learn exactly their worth. Read.
They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace.
They made crooked paths. Everybody beefing amongst each other, and now you raised up in the neighborhood that you didn't get along with somebody who lived down the street from you, across the city from you. Mm-hmm. Your mom was set that way since you was a youth, and now you have no peace amongst your people. Destruction and wrath is wherever you go. You see your ops at the same bar, same gas station, gunfire comes out. And most of the time, it's not an explanation. It's he killed my cousin's cousin from last year, and now gunfire never stopped.
Right.
That's all I got, Cap.
Hey, can I land back on you real quick? Let's read that first part of that verse because there's a term that the youngsters say, and they say a word that correlates with run. It's stepping. Mm-hmm. We going stepping tonight, meaning we going out to look for trouble, out to kill someone, out to do violence against. Let's read that real quick.
Okay.
Verse 7. Their feet run to evil.
They run to evil. They're looking for this evil. They're looking to take someone's life.
Right.
Okay. Also, in verse 8, you also said they will have no peace, right? They won't have peace. They're going to constantly have to go back and forth to court. They're going to have to pay lawyers.
Right.
They're going to have to bail out of jail. Mom staying up till 3, 4, 5 a.m. waiting up for them. They will never have peace. People, like you said, constantly have to look over their shoulder for their opposition,
Right.
for their enemies.
Right.
They will see no peace.
Mama getting that call in the middle of the day. This is a collect call from Raheem.
Right.
Mama, it's me.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I get one too? Let's go to Micah, because this is also a problem amongst our Black, Latino, and Native American neighborhoods. You know what I want, right? Micah 2,
Yeah, verse 8.
verse 8.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 8. Even of late, my people is risen up as an enemy.
Even as of late, in these last days, our people have risen up against each other as enemies. Okay, 110th don't mess with 105.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, the red don't mess with the blue, or
Right.
the GD don't mess with the folks. Okay, we have become as enemies towards each other. Okay, light skin versus dark skin, short, tall. Okay,
Right.
the black woman versus the black man. Okay, read.
Ye pull off the robe with the garment.
And with that, we steal from each other. We rob each other. Okay, we take off the robe or the garment or the Jordan tennis shoe or the Pele leather jacket or the starter jacket. Okay, read.
Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely as men averse from war.
Okay, so we act as men at war. You see on IG, you see on Facebook, you see Ja Morant brandishing their guns on camera. Okay, you see the young men brandishing wads of money, guns, drugs. Okay, as men of war, always looking for opposition, always looking for a fight.
And also, going back to that men averse from war, a lot of them suffer from PTSD. What they don't know how to conduct themselves in society. It's hard for them to reintegrate into society. Our people who have lived these lifestyles, for some of them, they cannot go to sleep unless they got another body, unless they're involved in some drama, unless they're involved in some sort of fight. It's an issue. That PTSD, they're always paranoid. They stand in the corner, they watch every single car that ride by. That is a miserable life.
Right.
A miserable life. Give me John 8. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, we have to be able to meet with our people where they at to give them the solutions and show them the roots behind all these different ailments that we see in our community. So let's see what Christ said. Go ahead.
32.
Yes.
St. John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So he says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Because what our people got to understand is our communities have been engineered to run exactly the way they are. They are engineered to have to be drug infested. They are engineered to be overridden with guns. They are engineered to have low amount of resources and a densely packed population.
Right.
That whole thing is engineered to be that way.
Right.
Give me that in Michael 4. Give me Michael 4. We're going to prove it. Our communities are nothing more but a successful science project. And God talks about that. Give me that Michael 4, verse 11.
The book of Micah, chapter 4, and verse 11. Now also many nations are gathered against thee that say.
So it's not just the white man. I know a lot of times, the white man gets a bad rap, but it ain't just him.
Right.
Believe me, them ships went everywhere, and he wasn't the only one who received slaves. Right. The Arabs, they bought and sold slaves. The Chinese bought and sold slaves. Right. All right. So it says, read that top part again.
Now also many nations
many nations, not just one nation. Not just one nation. And this ain't a hate campaign. Because guess what? We work with other nations. We hire them. We fire them just like we do everybody else. So it's not a hate campaign. It's just a truth campaign.
Right.
We don't teach no hate. The only hate we teach is the hate that was shown to us,
Right.
which is just our history.
Right.
And that's just the bottom line about it. But people going to feel the way they want to feel. But read that again.
Now also, many nations are gathered against thee that say, let her be defiled.
You see, many nations look at our race and they say, let her be defiled. Put guns in her community. Put drugs in her community. Take the money that was coming to that community. Once they move in, move that money to the suburbs. Move that money to more affluent communities. And then once we see that the place is now decrepit and then we start to move into those suburbs, what do? They double back. They put the bike lane in.
Right.
And then they start reinvesting money and gentrifying it. And then now we in the suburbs, and then what? The suburbs turn into the hood. Right. The suburbs become decrepit. And they playing this game with us. Redlining used to be something concrete, something tangible. Now they redline, it's fluid. It's fluid now.
Right.
They say, wherever y'all at, that's where it's going to be the ghetto. Mm-hmm. You move into the suburbs in 10 years, it'll be the ghetto.
Right.
That's what's going on. It says, wherever we at, they're going to make sure that we are defiled. Read on.
And let our eye look upon Zion.
You see that thing? They said, let our eye look upon Zion. It is a great conspiracy to have our communities exactly the way they are. Our people being put to death, the media, the music, everybody is in on it. Everybody is Confederate. That's what that's going into. Now, dealing with the music, right? Because music and entertainment is powerful, right? Give me that evil communication in 2 Corinthians. Music is powerful. All right, give me that.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 15. Sorry, 1 Corinthians.
Give me that and verse 3. I show you what God said about the music and the media that our youth are consuming.
1 Corinthians.
Hold on. All of our youth, they have tablets, iPads, television, cable, smartphones. They got the power of a Mac computer in the palm of their hand. They're not being monitored. There's no restrictions. They can watch what they want, and this stuff is polluting them. And this is a youth violence conflict resolution seminar. So as a young man, a young woman, your mind is very impressionable. You're going to act out. You're going to imitate the ideas and behaviors that you're watching all day long. That's why it's so important that we put this in place so that we can counteract the damage that's being done to our youth. Right. Go ahead and read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived.
It says, don't be deceived, because many people say, oh, I can watch this. It ain't bother me. Or I can like Offsides Rebels bringing out earlier. I can play Grand Theft Auto all day while I'm laying with prostitutes and shooting up the block and doing drugs and running missions and putting people to death. I can play this game all day from the time I woke up until the time I go to sleep, time the sun comes back up, and it's not having any effects on me. Nonsense.
Right.
Nonsense. It is having a great effect on you, and it's going to manifest itself in your behavior.
Right.
Read that again.
Be not deceived.
Don't be deceived. Go ahead.
Evil communications.
Evil communications. Evil communications. Whether it's TV, cable, radio, that Lil Durk album that you hiding from your mama.
Right.
Or maybe she bumping it with you.
Right.
It says, be not deceived. Evil communication, read.
Corrupt good manners.
Corrupts whatever good manners that you got from grandmama, granddaddy, that teacher that actually cared about you, or whoever instills something positive or any kind of form of morality. When you watching this media, soaking in that media, it will corrupt you and make you twofold whatever child of hell you was before you listen to that garbage.
Right.
That's what the Bible is saying. So we cannot be naive. So parents who listen to this, don't be naive thinking that you can sit your child in front of these perverted movies to listen to the radio. And the mainstream radio is complete 1,000% garbage. 1,000% garbage. Lil Durk and Lil Yachty, all of them look like homosexual thugs.
Right.
Can I say homosexual thugs?
Absolutely.
All of them look like homosexual thugs.
We actually went back in the day with that term. Cat.
Yeah, I was gonna say homo thugs, but I tried to be. You see?
That's exactly.
You see, I'm growing. I'm growing. You see that? So, but this is what's going on. Read that verse one more time.
1 Corinthians 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
You see that thing? Evil communications corrupt good manners. Give me and then I'm gonna give it to y'all brothers. Just one more thing. Now, give me Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 5, because the Bible talks about our communities. The Bible talks about our communities. Isaiah 3, give me verse 5. Somebody got to silence their phone. Give me that. Isaiah 3 and verse 5.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 5.
Watch what God say. Watch this.
And the people shall be oppressed.
The people shall what?
And the people shall be oppressed.
It says that our people shall be oppressed in the last days. Let's see if this is a prophecy about the other nations oppressing us, or is it something different? Watch this, read.
Every one by another.
This is not a prophecy about what the other nations are doing, like we was reading earlier, about how, because the other nations, they engineered the condition for us. But now our people keep the onslaught going. Our own people keep the slaughter going.
Right.
We fall right into it. What'd you say?
Like in the Willie Lynch letter, he said keep an
Orbiting cycle. Yeah.
Going from generation to generation.
That's going to revolve on its own axis unless they can reach a substantial historical base. That's what it said.
Right.
The substantial historical base is the Holy Bible.
Right.
That's what it is. Finish that, and I'm going to give it to y'all. Go ahead.
And every one by his neighbor.
You said that thing, everyone should be oppressed, everyone by his neighbor, everyone by another. Read on.
The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient.
The child, who's the child? The 13-year-old, the 14-year-old, some of them 10, 11, 12 will walk into a business and put a gun to an elderly man's head and say, stick him up.
Right.
This is a robbery. Don't make it turn into a homicide. This is what's going on. Why? Because our people are hopeless. They hopeless. They don't understand how they got in this condition. The other nations have rounded us up like crabs into these communities, which is the barrel.
Right.
And we don't know to do. We frantic. We frustrated. We lack resources. So all we do is devour one another. Not understanding that the reason why we was put into the barrel is because God is allowing us to do that because we broke his laws as a people.
Absolutely.
Right. You finish that last part.
Go ahead.
And the base against the honorable.
You see that thing? And the base against the honorable. So you have people who stand up like community activists, community leaders, whether they be program directors, who are trying to bring change to the community, and they may be a target. They may not make it home. They may get robbed trying to do activism in the very community that they was raised in.
Right.
Even they not safe in their own city.
Right.
And if I could give that same, carrying on to that point the captains brought out, Jeremiah 31. I'm sorry. Same chapter we in now, Isaiah 3 and 12.
Got you. To book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
So just like we've just read, the children are behaving proudly against the ancient, against the gray hair. We used to have respect. You see your elder, you stand up, you greet them, you nod your head, you take your hat off. Hello, sir, how you doing? But now the children are oppressors. They oppress each other and even the ancients. No more respect. Keep on reading.
And women rule over them.
So a lot of times we see the symptoms, but we have to go back to the root cause. We got to make sure that not only are we here to talk about youth violence, but also getting responsibility back in order with the men in the household, women in the household, that whole structure being set like it's supposed to be. Go ahead.
Oh, my people, they which led thee caused thee to err and destroyed the way of thy path.
And so we see the end results of that. The ancient, the elder is no more respected. Our children have become oppressors against their own people. And the last thing you think about is walking across the street. You see a bunch of young brothers with hoods on. The first thing run across your mind, maybe I shouldn't even go that way. Right. And we shouldn't be thinking about that with each other.
Mm-hmm. We shouldn't have to be afraid of each other.
Right. Absolutely. Got something else?
Yeah. Let me get Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26.
But yeah, what you was bringing out, Jalil, is very, very heavy because the Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar it's an avenue for change. It's an avenue to bring change to our people, but it's up to the parents, it's up to the relatives of these youths to keep it going.
Right.
It's up to them to make sure they reinstilling and that they bringing the infrastructure to the household.
Right.
It has to be changed in the household. All right. The Youth Violence Conflict Resolution is a way to present the Bible to them as the solution to our people problems. But the parents at home must be the ones to make sure that they see the thing all the way through. And that comes with them examining themselves, fixing themselves so they can be an example. And then the children have to what? They have to see that example in their parents, and then they get reinforced by the parents because it takes a nation. That's why we all got to come together. That's why it says, gather together, O nation not desired.
Right.
So it's at home, it's on the streets. We all got to work together collectively and submit to what God say.
Mm-hmm.
All praises.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
So just imagine a whole neighborhood keeping the commandments, because righteousness, according to Deuteronomy 6:25, is keeping the commandments. So it says the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. Okay, read.
But the way of the wicked seduceth them.
But the reason why we can't, it's hard to tell. Well, it's not hard to tell these days because the prophets are back on the earth. But it says the wicked seduceth them. These TV shows, the radio shows, these podcasts, the songs, the music that's out here, it seduces our people to do evil. Okay, once you hear shoot 'em up, bang bang, kill 'em, bang bang.
Right.
Well, long enough, you're gonna eventually gonna get in a fight. You gonna eventually gonna want to shoot somebody
Right.
if you constantly putting that stuff in your spirit.
Right.
You constantly see the gold, the gold rings. You gotta have status. You gotta have this, that, and the third to be something in this world. Pretty sure if you can't afford it, you're gonna end up taking it from someone,
Right.
robbing someone, or trying to get over on someone to make yourself on another level to get those things, so you could be what they say in the Joneses, be part of the Joneses, or keeping up with the Joneses. You know what I mean? So that's all I had on that.
To carry on that point, because that last sentence, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. So we read in 1 Corinthians 15:33, where evil communication corrupt good manners. When someone getting ready to do wickedness, the way of the wicked seducing them. Trust me, they're not listening to Miles Davis before they get ready to ride on their ops.
Right. Exactly.
But like you said, I bet you Little Yachty or NBA Youngboy or whoever is playing
Lil Durk, or whatever his name is.
Right, exactly. And all that evil communication, just because the beat, make you move, all that's getting in your spirit and influencing your actions.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, so also go to Sirach 14. Go to Sirach 14. Because my main focus is getting back to the root. We can deal with music and we can deal with all those things, but the root cause is actually deeper than that. It's much deeper than that. So we dealt with some of the obvious things, the music, the entertainment. Let's go to Sirach 14, verse 5.
The book of Sirach, chapter 14 and verse 5. He that is evil to himself.
He that is what?
Evil to himself.
Uh-huh.
To whom will he be good?
So it says, he that is evil to himself. Why would a man be evil to himself? Because he hates himself. Why would a man hate himself? Because he sees no value in himself. He don't know who he is. They tell us that we descend from slaves. They don't give us our history before the ships docked us off in Europe, America, South America. They don't give us that history.
Right.
So we look at each other like, who am I? I don't know who I am. And if I ain't nothing, remember it was an iconic scene in the movie Juice. Remember, it was Tupac and there was Omar Epps. And he said, listen, I ain't Ish. He said, I ain't never gonna be Ish. He said, you less of a man than me. So as soon as I decide you ain't gonna be Ish, pow, so be it. Yeah. That mind is in a lot of our people. Yeah. It's a vacant esteem. And if I ain't nothing, then your life definitely don't mean nothing to me.
Right.
Read that verse again.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 14 and verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
You see that thing? So when you have that self-hatred, how are you going to love your people? Because the law say love your neighbors, you love yourself. But what happens when you don't love yourself? What happens then? So that's where we come in. Because you have every reason to love yourself because we are God's chosen people. Jesus Christ is a black man according to the Bible. Yes, his color matters, because if somebody snatched your grandmother's picture off the wall and brought it back to you and she was a different race, you wouldn't accept it.
Right.
You wouldn't hang it back up because it's been desecrated and it ain't the proper image. You wouldn't allow it, so how the hell are we going to allow somebody to change the Messiah's image?
Right.
God forbid. Now let's get what Christ looked like. Revelations 1. Our people got a reason to love themselves. Let's get Revelation chapter 1, verse 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So the hair on his head and the hair on his face, because wool is a texture. Wool is a texture. It is not a color. It is a texture. So it's not talking about his skin. It's talking about the hair on his head and the hair on his face. It was woolly. That's an afro. That is an afro, my friends. Read on.
As white as snow.
It was fully white, like some of the OGs we see around the city. Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Because the Lord drank wine lawfully. He drunk it in moderation. Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet were like fine brass. Brass is brown. Brass is a derivative of brown. It's a shade of brown. Go ahead.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Now take that brown and burn it in the furnace. What do you get? You get a dark black color. A rich, healthy-looking, dark black color with an afro on his head.
Right.
This is the prototype. This is the image of the black man. We were made in the image of the Son of God himself. Right. So we have a lot to value in ourselves. We are special. God chose us to look like him, and God chose us as a people. He didn't choose everybody. We go to a lot of our people in our communities, they Christian, right?
Yep.
But they have never heard that God chose a people for himself. They have never heard that. Can we read that today? Because remember, it says, "To he that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good?" So our people must see the value in themselves and understand you are special. We are not minorities. Root word minor. There's nothing minor about us. There is nothing minor about us. Give me that in I won't
the
read
book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Come on.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So the first thing he said to the Israelites is, y'all are holy. Holy mean what? Separate. Y'all are separate. I didn't make y'all like everybody else. Everybody ain't gonna like y'all. And that's fine, because as long as God is with us, we don't care who's against us. Read that again.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
So first he said we were holy. Then he tells us that we are special. So why would I hate myself when God say I'm holy, when God say I'm special? I may not understand it yet, but guess what? I can start a path today learning more and more about myself. Because the more you learn about yourself, the closer you will be to God. Because you will learn what? That God called you Israel. That means Prince that has power with God. God didn't call you an Afro-American. He didn't call you an African-American or an American-African. That ain't what he called you. God called you an Israelite. God says you're holy. God says you're special. Read on.
Have chosen thee to be a special people.
God says he chose your people. Why is the chosen people in these last days killing each other? Because they don't know that God said they're holy. They don't know that God said they're special.
Right.
They don't know that God says they're chosen. Read on.
Unto himself.
Just for himself. Read on.
Above all people.
Above all people. That might sound racist.
Right.
That might sound racist. But guess what? This is thus saith the Lord. And if God says we're above all people, then that's what we're going to teach. We're not going to cut from it. We're not going to trim our ways. If God says we're above all people, this is what our young brothers need to know. This is what our young sisters need to know in the communities, so they can stop hating themselves, so they can stop bleaching their skin, perming their hair, because the same ones who will bleach their skin and perm their hair to look like white Jesus, thinking they closer to God by doing these things, they the same ones who will pull a trigger and blow their brother away who got dark skin and woolly hair, just like the Son of God.
Absolutely.
It's heavy.
Hey, and just, some people, you'll have Christians with the black markers in the Bible and say, that don't mean that. That's not what that mean by Israel's God-chosen people. Let's get Deuteronomy 14:2, just to confirm. This is why we go precept upon precept, because a lot of people don't understand the scripture, and when they hear information like that about how special they are to God, our people with their own destructive mind don't believe those things. Even though it's clear in the Bible, plain as day, Our people are so destroyed, they don't even believe. We have people that will argue with us about this situation. So we're going to prove that again, how special we are to God. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 2. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
He had to remind them. We have to be reminded again how special we are. We have to be told that on a regular. It's very rare that we communicate with one another and uplift each other. We always got to constantly remind how special we are. And this is in the eyes of God. We can't even do that amongst each other. So let God tell you about how special you are. As he said, holy, we are separate. We are not like anybody else on this planet. Read.
And the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself.
He said a peculiar people. Just like you have a peculiar pair of clothes that you pick out when you have a special event. Or you have a peculiar food that you like when you want to take somebody to a special place. He said that we are a peculiar people. Peculiar. We are not like everybody else. We have been specifically chosen to be the sons and daughters of God, which is more to be known as a representative of God himself. As he mentioned, Christ is a black man. We are a representation of the black Messiah and God himself. Read.
Above all the nations that are upon the earth.
You can't make it up. Because if you didn't understand Deuteronomy 7-6, he repeated that thing for you again to understand, to intake how special we are as a people. Peculiar and chosen above all nations on the face of the earth. That right there alone should make you want to get into this Bible more to understand more about who you are and have hope. Have hope.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. That's good stuff right there. So the Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar is this Sunday, right?
That's right.
This Sunday, April 21st, right?
That's right.
11 a.m. at Zelma George Rec Center.
That's right.
Now, with that being said, being that this is about the Youth Violence Conflict Resolution, and we are promoting the Youth Violence Conflict Resolution, let's get some scriptures, brothers, on some conflict resolution. Let's pull some scriptures on conflict resolution. What you got?
Let's get a foundational script. Let's get Leviticus 19.
Okay. Why we going here?
Oh, the reason why we're going to go here is because we have to first understand that our people, we are all neighbors, okay? And we are not supposed to show hatred or to bear grudge against...
Wait a minute. You mean my neighbor ain't the Chinese man who lived next door?
Oh, no, sir.
I got a Chinese man who lived next door.
What?
His house right next to my house.
Wait, you know what? Let's let God speak it. Let's God explain it.
I could have sworn that was my neighbor.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Thou shalt not hate your brother in your heart, meaning your mind. Go ahead.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
We are supposed to be correcting each other in our neighborhoods. When you see Raheem about to break in that house, you're supposed to blast him out. Like, hey, boy, get from around there. And go tell his parents. Or go tell the authorities. We're supposed to be correcting each other in our neighborhoods. Okay, but you know what? Our people kind of hate. They hate correction. Right. Go ahead, read.
And not suffer sin upon him.
And we're not supposed to suffer sin upon our brothers and sisters. Okay? We're not supposed to suffer adultery, fornication, theft, killing, robbing, extortion. Okay? We're not supposed to condone those things amongst us. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Nor avenge or bear any grudge. Okay, if you get caught, don't have no problem with that person that said something about your sin. You not supposed to have a grudge against that person or have ill will against that person. You're supposed to be like, you know what, that brother loves me, man.
And the heavy thing is, Officer Dothan, dealing with the whole grudge thing, right? What people say, that it's an endless cycle, right? It's an endless cycle of violence, right? Okay, you killed my cousin, I'm gonna kill your cousin. Okay, your brother killed my cousin, then I'm gonna shoot your mama. I'm gonna go to the funeral. It's a vicious, never-ending cycle.
Right.
So if we just kept this one law that you just brought, it's an excellent law. If we just kept this one law, we wouldn't have no endless cycles. Because you got beef that go on 20 years. And you ask the young boys, why y'all beefing with the other side? They like, I don't even know, bruh. My uncles used to beef with them. My daddy was into it with them, and his daddy before him, and my cousin before them, and my this cousin did. They start showing tattoos. Yeah, he did, and it's been like this ever since I can remember. Right. They don't even know why they beefing.
Right.
They have no idea because somebody is breaking this law, bearing that grudge. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Arthur.
But you want me to start from the top?
Read the last part.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So if you love yourself, you're supposed to love your people the same way. But we don't have that. And that's why we're throwing this youth conflicts resolution seminar to show our people, to show love to our people, and for them to show love towards each other. And once you do that, I mean, just imagine, guys, if we follow that law alone, you see the change that will happen in our neighborhoods overnight.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. And just to land back off of, that's a heavy point. What Kat mentioned earlier, our people got to learn to love themselves. And with that is starting with this simple law for starters. But within that, go to Sirach 19 and 13. Because a lot of us never learned how to handle these problems. We never been taught how to deal with one another. We never been taught how to communicate amongst each other. You got that off?
Yes, sir. The book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
Admonish a friend. It may be he hath not done it.
So a lot of times before that gun get pulled out, before you start feeling with wrath, ready to shoot, fight, whatever, said admonish a friend, approach that man, correct him, and ask, what happened? Hey, did you say this? Or did you say that I was sleeping with such and such girl? You know, before that even happened, before you and this other man have odds with each other, read that again.
Admonish a friend. It may be he hath not done it.
Especially with today, we got social media, all type of lies, communication that cannot be deleted. Some people speak out of anger. They post something. They can't, before they take it down, somebody screenshot it, send it to Johnny. Johnny ready to go off the wire with it. So before that thing happened, why not give Johnny a call and say, hey, bro, I did not mean that. I was angry at the time. You never know what you're going to get when you're dealing with that person. Keep reading.
It may be he hath not done it.
It may be what?
That he hath not done it.
If we could apply this to our lives, a lot of lives would still be here today. A lot of funerals would not have happened. A lot of money would have been saved in the black community just off of this simple law right here. Communication with one another. Before you get in your feelings, before wrath takes over your spirit, communicate with that brother. Communicate with that sister. Social media has put a communication block within all of these youth nowadays. They cannot talk to one another no more. There's no time where everybody turn off the TV and just talk.
Also, they all say they got anxiety.
Right.
You been hearing that thing?
Right.
Oh, no, I don't like being around people. I got anxiety. You got anxiety because you've never practiced social skills.
Absolutely.
Your nose is in your iPhone all day. You know, and for the poor few who have the Androids, you know, but go ahead, continue. Go ahead.
And what's crazy, working in the school system, though, one of the biggest pushes they're doing now is social emotional learning. Because the fact that nobody communicates with each other, now Esau has to push his agenda in to make it a whole direct line where you give people fidgets and things like that to keep their mind. All they need to do is step off this phone for a minute and apply themselves to Revelation 1 and 3 where it say, blessed is he that readeth.
Right.
We don't take time to be in silence and learn how to deal with one another anymore. We don't sit at a dinner table with each other anymore as families. The kids in the living room, some in their room eating dinner. Family households is out of order. This is why the children are out of order. This is why our communities is out of order. Finish that?
And if he have done it, that he do it no more.
You see how that could be? Say somebody did say something. Say somebody did speak ill against your gang or against your girlfriend, your best friend. Social media, it's so much got to get started on there. Screenshot, just seeing so much things going off with that. Or before you hear something from another neighborhood, everybody got so much pride you can't go to that other block, or you may not be allowed to that other block to talk to that brother about the situation that y'all could speak to one another. If we apply these simple laws, and it says if he did say it, what happened to? Hey, you know what? I was wrong, bro. I apologize. I was out of order. I shouldn't have said that. Hey, bro, I apologize. Won't happen again. Imagine if that happened within the Black and Hispanic community. How much would change? And applying that with Leviticus 19:17. All these people that lost lives in the past few years, a lot of them will still be here. I guarantee you over 90% if these two commandments was held here, kept here alone.
Just with that one, just that one commandment. Say this real quick. With the officer Azrael just brought out, being able to talk things out and just squash things, right? We will lower incarceration rates overnight. It wouldn't be no need for the what is it called? The correctional officers. It wouldn't be no need for the probation officer. It wouldn't be no need for these high cost lawyers. It wouldn't be no need for us pretty much funding a whole judicial branch,
Right.
a whole judicial and legislation branch, because a lot of laws is catered to afflict our people. We will overnight better our communities, have our fathers back at home, our sons and our brothers back at home, and we will literally cripple all these industries that were designed based upon our destruction. They literally build prisons based upon the numbers of kids in behavioral disability and learning disabilities. They use those numbers as a projection to build the prisons.
Fourth grade test scores.
So with us using these laws right here, overnight we can better our communities.
Overnight, yes, right.
Overnight. What
right.
you gonna say, officer?
It was some more meat on that bone off.
Yes, a lot of meat, but
I
for time's sake, we're gonna bring everything out.
James 2:8.
James 2.
Yes, sir. Because we have to realize how important loving each other and dealing with each other in righteousness, how important it is to the Most High. Go ahead.
The book of James, chapter 2 and verse 8. If ye fulfill the royal law.
The what?
The royal law.
One more time.
The royal law.
This is a royal law. This shows how we treat each other, shows how dignified and how on another level we're supposed to deal with each other as royalty. Go ahead.
According to the scripture.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's a royal law. Okay, that's a whole nother level of respect for yourself and respect for one another.
Now, excellent precept. That is a banger right there. All praise to the Most High. So again, we got the Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar this Sunday, April 21st at 11 a.m. And right now, what we're doing, we're going through the Holy Bible.
That's right.
Same ones y'all got at home. Some of them collecting dust. Some of them being used as a coaster to hold your Kool-Aid. But in this Bible, you have the solutions that can fix our communities. So we're going over some scriptures right now to show you how to resolve conflicts without everything always resorting to violence. Let's get it from Jesus Christ. Let's go to Matthew 18. Let's go to Matthew 18. And let's read verse 15.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee,
If your brother do something that you don't like, something that bothers you, go ahead.
go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
So I pulled this scripture because the Leviticus 19 and Sirach 19 touched on it perfectly, but it's a detail. When Christ said this, he says between you and him alone, because people will gas you up. It is not the best time to resolve something when you got your guys with you or he got the whole squad with him. That is not the best time to talk things out. It is best to talk things out privately. This way, you don't have to go to him with your inflated ego. You don't have to go to him with people instigating all in your ear. A lot of times things get happen. Why? Because people are instigating. How many times have you seen disagreements pop off? Next thing you know, it's a big crowd. Y'all in the middle of the keyhole. Everybody rile you up. People push you into somebody. Next thing you know, y'all throwing hands, and later on, a year later, y'all now real full-fledged enemies shooting at each other.
Right.
5 years later, one of y'all in a box before y'all time over something silly that could have been resolved with a basic conversation if y'all was in private. This way you don't have to worry about your ego, who see you, he trying to sun me, I don't want to apologize. Why? Because all eyes is on you. Read that one more.
Cap, real quick. That's a heavy point. Because you remember as kids watching the old gangster movies, and you'll have a mob boss and another boss somewhere else, and they be like, hey, let's talk man to man. We meet somewhere, we speak man to man, we'll have tea, coffee together, and we go settle our differences. It was a whole different generation back then. They handled things way different.
Yeah.
A lot of wars got stopped. You watch the movies and they'll talk it out. Next thing you know, they working together.
Yeah.
Those things don't happen no more. This generation don't move the way our forefathers used to move.
Now you're absolutely right, because even today, right? We watch the news. We see. I remember when Trump was in office. Him and Rocket Man, Kim Jong-un, they going back and forth. It's all over CNN. They talking about they got missiles that can get to America in like less than 11 minutes and all that. What happened? Trump went over there. They spoke. They sat down. We ain't heard nothing about America and them since. They sat down. They resolved their conflict, man to man, face to face. No media. No CNN, no Fox News. We know about Fox News. Right. No Fox, no MSNBC, none of that stuff. They went. He caught a plane over there. They talked face to face. If the other nations could do it, and God said we holy, special, chosen above, why can't we?
Right.
We can and we will, and we're gonna help equip you to do exactly what we're teaching right now. This Sunday, April 21st, 11 a.m. Y'all better make sure y'all come out. Read what Christ said again, bro.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
You see that thing? Between thee and him alone. Now watch this, read.
If he shall hear thee.
If he shall hear thee, read.
Thou hast gained thy brother.
You see that thing? Thou hast gained thy brother. Thou hast gained thy brother. Better for you to make friends than to make enemies.
Absolutely.
A wise man makes friends. A fool makes enemies. Because guess what? We all bleed. We all are mortal. We all can be put to death. All right? Go to Sirach 28. Sirach 28. So we got to drop that anger and that murder and that hatred spirit. We got to drop that. Main ones be doing all the killing be the same ones with a crucifix around their neck. Call themselves Christian.
Caesar bow, diamond up.
To me, I believe in a higher power. He sound deep. Got to give him some African beats. He sound deep.
Jesus, peace down to
Read Sirach 28 and verse 1. Yeah, come on.
The book of Sirach, chapter 28 and verse 1.
Watch this.
He that revengeth.
He that revengeth, oh, he did this to me. I'm about to go slaughter him. I'm going to go stepping, right? I'm big stepping. I'm going lurking. Right, I'm gonna go slide on him. I'm gonna drill on him. Right, It says, "He that revengeth, read,
shall find vengeance from the Lord."
You keep on thinking that you can say you Christian, and you think you just gonna say the sinner's prayer before you die, and you got a golden ticket into the kingdom. No, it don't work that way. God said, if you want to revenge your brothers, you want to keep that cycle going. Okay, well, guess what? When you stand before the Lord on Judgment Day, He got something for you.
Right.
You're gonna be His op in that day.
Right.
Yeah.
Read that.
And He will surely keep his sins in remembrance.
If you can't forgive your brother, the Lord ain't forgiving you. Read.
Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee.
You see that thing? A lot of times, because guess what? Everybody is not going to repent. Everybody don't want to change. But if you want to change, you got to understand that some people you got to forgive, even if they're not worthy of it. Now, guess what? You can still keep your distance. Keep your distance. Everybody should not be in your circle. Everybody don't deserve your company.
Right.
But guess what? Sometimes you got to let stuff go. Everything don't have to be retaliated. Read verse 2 again.
Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee.
So you forgive those who are changing, who want to change. Some people you don't forgive. You just remember what they did. Keep your distance. Go ahead.
So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
So God said, if you forgive your brother, I'll forgive you. Now watch this.
One man beareth hatred against another.
Now we see this every day. Brothers bearing hatred against each other. We see this every day. You got brothers who say, man, I hate niggas.
Yeah.
A whole nigga talking. Excuse my language. You got a whole nigga talking about, I hate niggas.
Right.
Sometimes I marvel. I be like, wow. Wow.
Astonishment.
You got women saying, I hate bees. Wow. Incredible. Wow. Some things you just can't make up. You just can't make it up. But this is what it's talking about. One man beareth hatred against another. Why? Because the hatred is really within himself.
Right.
The deeper you hate yourself, the more dangerous you are in society.
Damn, that's heavy, Cap. Because what you just said, everything that they just said, I hate niggas, I hate bees.
Yeah.
They're only talking about their own people. They don't communicate against other nations like that.
They don't.
Every time you hear that type of those type of slanders, it's against their own people.
Look, check it out, right? I was at work, right? White guy came through. He was being rude, being nasty, being short in his speech, right? Talking to one of our sisters, right?
Right.
He leaves, you know what she said? She said, that racist MFer. right? So I was like, okay. Now, I think about a couple of days go by, maybe a week went by, something like that. Like I get the time wrong, but another situation happened. It was one of our people, kind of acting just like him, you know, being rude, being short, right? You know what she said? I hate black people. Damn. So when the white man did it, she says, that singular, that racist mother effer, right? Now when a black man did it, she said, I hate black people.
Damn, that's
all of us, including me. I gotta listen to it. Wow.
including herself.
Man,
There you go. There you go.
Damn.
that's heavy.
You want me to finish that out, Cap?
Yeah, finish it up, bro.
And do he seek pardon from the Lord?
I don't forgot the subject matter. Start at verse 3, bro.
Verse 3.
Come on.
One man beareth hatred against another. And do he seek pardon from the Lord?
And how you gonna seek pardon from the Lord when you won't even forgive your brother? Read on.
Verse 4.
Watch this.
He showeth no mercy to a man which is like himself.
A man which is like yourself. Because just when I think about me, guess what? I need mercy. I need mercy from God. I make mistakes, right? So it say that he showed no mercy to a man which is like himself. Okay, if you make mistakes, you understand that you got to go before God and ask for mercy. You go before God, ask for forgiveness for your sins every day, like a broken record. But then your brother do something, no, you're going to put him to death. You're going to put him to death. God say it's a judgment for that. It's a judgment for that mindset, read.
And do he ask forgiveness of his own sins?
You see that thing? It's rhetorical because God looking at you like you crazy. God looking at you with the screw face, with his nose twisted up. Hold on, you bearing hatred for this brother, but then you open your mouth to me asking you for forgiveness. Are you crazy? That's what God is saying. And you asking for forgiveness for your sins? The answer is no. That's what God is saying. So many of our people who doing this violence in our community, they Christians, but they do not know that there will be no kingdom for anybody bearing hatred and grudges and destroying their communities with murder, bloodshed, robbery, armed robbery, stealing, killing, selling drugs to our people. All these, there is no kingdom for a criminal and for a lawless brother who hate his own people.
Damn.
That's heavy.
That's why y'all got to come out this Sunday, April 21st, to the Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar at the Zelma George Recreational Center, so y'all can come out. Lord, we can learn and build. We not waiting for y'all to come. Give me Isaiah 30 and 20. We not waiting for y'all to come to us. We want to meet y'all where y'all at.
Bring the kids, bring the nieces, the nephews, grandmoms, aunties, uncles. Everybody come on out.
That's right. That's right. Give me that Isaiah 30 and 20. We want to meet our people where they at. Give me that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 20.
Come on.
And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity.
Though the Lord give us the bread of adversity. We suffering. We being afflicted. We being oppressed. We depressed. Life is hard. So it says, God say, though I give you the bread of adversity, read.
And the water of affliction.
And the water of affliction. That's what? That's tears. That's suffering. Read.
Yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
Right now, y'all listening to y'all teachers, but this Sunday, April 21st at the Zelma George Recreation, your eyes gonna see your teachers.
That's right.
Come on.
Right. But thine eyes shall see thy teachers.
Thus saith the Lord. Read on.
And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee.
You're gonna hear a word behind you. You're gonna hear a word in front of you. You're gonna see examples. Go ahead.
Saying, this is the way.
Guess what? Conflict resolution is the way. Murder is not the way. Hatred is not the way. Fighting is not the way. Go ahead.
Walk ye in it.
Walk in it. Walk in repentance. Be born again. Follow what this Bible says, because that's the only way. Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. And yes, he's a black man.
That's
and he's a man of war. And the last thing our army needs is to destroy itself from the inside out, because you've done the work for the enemy.
Right.
All right. So again, this Sunday, April 21st at the Zelma George Recreational Center, we got our very first in Cleveland, Ohio, the very first Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar. So brothers, sisters, come out. Let y'all family know. Let your friends know. If you want to be an advocate of change, just let them know about the event. And those where they can come out, be edified, they can grow from the experience, and they'll be equipped to de-escalate and resolve conflict without it always resorting to violence, all right? So with that, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. We IUIC Cleveland, and we say shalom.
Shalom.